Changing minds one thought at a time.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Changing Minds Online Empowering Women series. How are you doing tonight, Akina? Akina, are you on the line with us? All right, so
yes, I'm here.
There we go. All right, perfect.
Yes,
How are you doing this evening? We had lost you for a minute, but I'm glad we have you back on.
Yes, I'm here. I was just saying that every day that we do the Empowering Women series is a great day, so I'm definitely excited and pumped for tonight's show. Why don't you tell us about it, Jessica?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, I get so excited about getting the opportunity to come on this call every week and just bringing on so many amazing women. And one of the most exciting things I think about, the journey of making your life better is really getting to network with some powerful people who have some amazing and profound understandings that can provide so much value and insight into your life. And, often I actually will listen to the recordings of our Empowering Women series and when I'm running or I'm driving. And it's a blessing, for me even to be part of this. And I'm so thankful for that opportunity. And tonight is really no different. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a topic that I absolutely love. Like if you're on this call, if you've been on this call recently, if it's, not your first time, you're one of our followers, you know that really talking about abundance, talking about prosperity, about creating wealth is something that I'm so passionate about. Tonight we're going to be having a friend of mine on the call. This person is really going to talk a little bit about our emotions tonight, especially as women. And I just want to throw it out there, as women, we often let our emotions get in the way. We get in our own way. We worry about how we feel. We think we can't really control our emotions, and that has a really profound impact on our ability to manifest and our ability to attract whatever it is we require, and really it stops us from getting to our next level. Well, tonight we're going to be bringing a friend of mine on the call. She is someone who is just absolutely amazing. I have so much respect for her. I love to listen to her talk. This person is a money and prosperity coach. She is from the company Catalytic Abundance. It's a privilege and it's an honor to welcome Danya on the call tonight. Welcome, Danya.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you, Akina. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys online. And I'm super excited to talk about the role of emotions and the powerful part that it plays in manifestation. And I just want to say that I am in love with the idea of changing minds online. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Danya. I just want to kind of just throw this right out there in the beginning of the call. So many people, and I even heard this today, a friend of mine had said this, and she said to me, I can't choose how I feel about something. And I said, girl, that is so not true. You have to call into my podcast tonight because we're actually talking about that. And, a lot of people think that things happen to them and they can't control their emotion around that incident. And I really just wanted to just start off the call tonight by letting everybody know they have so much more power than they think they can. They think they do, and that you do absolutely have the ability to choose how you feel about something. Can you talk a little bit about that and really just, your philosophy that, we can control and choose our emotions, and that can either put us in a position of power or not in a position of power?
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you in saying that we can absolutely control how we feel about things. All of this is emotions, all of looking at things and responding to it. It's a practice. So you definitely can control how you feel about things, but it takes fine-tuning, it takes practicing, and that's exactly what I'll be going into tonight with you and your audience.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to delay you any further. I know, if you can jump right into it and give us just tips and strategies for really just doing that and controlling our emotions, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely. So the best way, Jessica, to start this conversation so your audience will truly understand the role that emotions play in manifesting our realities is to just briefly talk about the process of manifestation. The first thing is manifestation is a three-step process. It begins with one, knowing what it is that you desire. And that makes sense because in order to create what we want, we first have to know what it is that we want. The second part is once we know what it is that we desire, God's force creates our desires. No matter what our desires are, no matter how big it is, no matter how small they are. And this creation includes the means, the ideas, the people that will help us get where we want, and so forth. And the last part of the manifestation process is receiving, just being in a state where we're allowing the things that we ask for. And this is where emotions come in, because receiving the things we desire, I'm just going to say that receiving the things we desire is, for most of us, the hardest part, because we have practiced so long not receiving the things we desire, things like health, prosperity, love, relationships. And this is where the power of emotions come in, I would say. And emotions is important because it's a simple way of figuring out whether we're going towards our desires or whether we're going away from our desires. So basically, feeling or emotions is how we tell if we're receiving. That means that if we're feeling bad, that means we're not allowing our desire. Instead, what we're doing is we're repelling what we want. If we're feeling good, range of emotions like optimism, happiness, joy, bliss, then we're allowing the things that we're asking for. For example, in your day-to-day experience, in my day-to-day experience, have you ever noticed that, like, if it rains, it pours, so to speak? That means if your day started out crappy, it's basically downhill from there. That's because whenever we're feeling bad, we're repelling everything, all the well-being that's constantly flowing to us. However, on the flip side, if your day starts out good, it usually just gets better and better from there. Should I continue?
Awesome. Yes.
All right. So basically, what my work is helping clients basically use their emotions to manifest what you want by tweaking how you feel, practicing feeling good rather than practicing emotions that don't serve you, like worrying, doubting, complaining, anticipating negative things to happen. And the key is basically to control how you're feeling by focusing on great things that are happening in your life. If there aren't any great things happening in your life, remembering good things that happen. Each of us have a good thing that happens. You can also journal about things that make you feel good. Instead of allowing your day to dictate the emotions that you're feeling by whether your boss or random bad news that are going on around you. And when you do this, what you're doing is you're thoughtfully focusing on things that make you feel good. So you're practicing mastery of the feeling good emotions just by focusing on those things that feel good. And the more you feel good throughout your day, every day, the more you are incrementally creating the life you desire, one day at a time. So your moods begin shifting, and as your moods begin to shift, your vibration raises. And vibration is just another term for the things you have practiced focusing on over time. So as your vibration raises, your emotions change, hopefully from wherever you are up the emotional scale to love, hopefulness, optimism, and then the last part is the manifestation starts. So the manifestations of prosperity, relationships, promotions on your job, and other physical manifestations starts to show up. And the more you practice, the better you become at creating the life you desire. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. You know, a lot of times people think that, I'm just going to think and it's just going to happen. But, as you just explained, there's steps to manifestation,
yes,
and there is a process to manifestation, and a lot of people don't explain that when they are speaking on manifestation. So can you just elaborate on that piece of the step process? Because a lot of people don't know. They just believe, it's going to happen. I believe it is going to happen. But, Is there a mind space that you need to be in? Is there a thing you need to particularly focus on? Things like that.
Yes.
Can you give us some of those?
Yes, there's definitely, I would say, an emotional space that you need to be in. And as I said briefly, it's a 3-step process. It's 1, you know what you want. So you're asking for what you want. 2, God's force creates what you desire. And 3, this is where the emotional space comes in. In order for us, any of us, and it's part of the law of attraction. It's for all of us. There's no exception. In order for us to receive anything that we desire, we have to be in a space of feeling good. It doesn't matter if it's just hopefulness or optimism or confidence, or love. We have to be in one of those positive emotional places. And that's where basically how you feel is telling you whether you're attracting or whether you're repelling, whether you're allowing the manifestations to occur or whether you're disallowing them from occurring.
Yeah, I love how you're talking about that and what you're saying around it. And especially when you said, when you're not allowing an attraction to occur. So many people, they think about what they want or even they think about what they don't want. And, right, that's a whole other topic, but we know that results in you attracting what you don't want. But a lot of people, they focus on what they want. And it maybe they're doing meditations and they're doing visualizations and they have their affirmation statements and they have their vision boards and they're posted every day. And they're just sitting there saying, well, why is this not working, right? Am I just broken? Maybe this whole law of attraction thing doesn't work, or maybe it doesn't work for me. Maybe the person who, is attracting things that I see that I'm emulating, maybe they're just at a higher state. Maybe God just loves them more. Maybe they're just better at it. Maybe they're just naturally gifted and talented or blessed, right? That may not be the case, and it's not the case, right? The truth is that we all have access to it. One of the things that I love the most about the law of attraction, I love the most about this, is that it is a law. It works the same way for everybody. It exists, like gravity works the same way for everybody. But oftentimes, when we choose to be at a lower vibration, like you said, or a lower emotional level, when we choose to come from the types of, mindset of guilt, of shame, when we don't forgive ourselves, when we feel poor about something, when we don't feel when we just choose to be unhappy, we're blocking our abundance, we're blocking our ability to attract. And it could even be that something that we desire is right in front of us, the resource we desire to have whatever it is we want or whatever is required to get our lives to the next level. That could be right in front of us, and we block our ability to see it by choosing to feel bad about a situation, So anger is a choice. You choose to be angry. People say, well, I can't help it. I was cut off by the car, and so it's not my fault I'm angry. No, you chose to get angry. In the same way that you choose to be angry, you can choose not to be angry. You can choose to act with love. You can choose to let that event not affect you. And I like how you said, you can start your day off in a way where something happens and you might feel like crap for the rest of the day. Well, you can also choose it not to affect you. So, something so silly today, and this may sound funny, but, I woke up this morning and there was just, chaos in my house. My bunny had an accident, and then the cable guy was here, and my boyfriend didn't tell me the cable person was coming, so I had wanted to sleep in, and now the cable person's here, and I'm cleaning up after the bunny, and the cable person was asking me these questions, and it could have been the state of chaos, right? And a lot of people would have been overwhelmed, and they would have just checked out and been frustrated. And I was like, no, you know what? This is going to be an amazing day and a really powerful day. And so even though those things happened that weren't really desirable, I chose to be of a mindset that it's going to be a great day. And I wound up having an amazing day, and I wound up attracting a lot of powerful things. And I had a phenomenal day. I helped people, and I was able to really be very productive. But it was a choice, right? And I definitely, today, I manifested things that took my life to another level. And every day I manifest things, and I'm finding more and more. I'm attracting more abundance and more prosperity into my life. And I know it's because I'm choosing to, not allow things to affect me in a negative way. I'm choosing to allow things to happen, but be powerful and intentional about my response to that situation. And I love how you're really giving that example, because it's true. People will block their blessings. And, if you choose to be unhappy, if you choose to feel bad about yourself, if you aren't forgiving yourself for past mistakes, if you're holding on to resentment, if you're holding on to anger, you're holding on to frustration, if you choose to see the world as a place of scarcity, if you choose that everyone's out to get you, if you choose that you're just broke, if you choose that there's nothing you can do about it, you're going to stay in that state forever.
Right.
And this podcast is Changing Minds Online. And we call it that because we firmly believe that if you choose your mindset, that if you change your mindset, you can change your level to attract anything and everything that you want and require and desire. And, Danya, I love that you're talking about it. It truly starts off with your emotions.
Absolutely. And I definitely agree with you on stressing the choice. It is definitely a choice how we choose to feel. And that's but here's the thing. It is a choice, but because we've practiced to just go with the flow in terms of, oh, this guy cut me off, as you said, I'm gonna get angry, or you know what, as you said, you wanted to sleep in, and your boyfriend didn't tell you that the cable guy was coming, and then you could have chose to gotten angry basically, because that was if that was something that you've practiced, but because you're practicing to feel good, to take charge of your day, to be in an emotional space that is basically allowing you to manifest the amazing life that you are, that's basically what's important. You have to choose to make sure that feeling good or being in a high vibration or being in a happy state is more important than anything else. So hell could be breaking loose all around you. You have to be deliberate, basically, in feeling good. You have to be deliberate in choosing to stand in your place of positive focus, basically. So it takes practice. It is a choice, but you have to get up every day deciding that this is my intention. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to feel this good today. I'm going to do this today. I'm going to attract what I desire today instead of repel what I desire. And the way I do that is by knowing how I feel in every moment. And that might sound daunting to know how you feel in every moment. But if you practice every day with things, I have basically 5 things I do every day that I will share with your audience that will help you to practice just taking stock of your emotions and knowing how you're feeling. So as we said, you're attracting abundance and not pushing it away, not thinking that this doesn't work and why does it work for that person over there? And well, they're luckier. They must know somebody that I don't know. So I am happy to share that with you guys. Okay, so my top things that I do every day, my top 5 things I do every day is, and if you listen to Wayne Dyer, you might have heard this one. It's 5 minutes before I go to bed, I think about basically all the positive things that are going on in my life. And if I don't have a lot of positive things going on in my life, I think about the only one. So you can start by being thankful for the breath moving in and out of your body. So say, for instance, you're homeless or whatever, things that just aren't going your way. Just be thankful for the breath moving in and out of your body and the fact that when you sleep, your body takes care of itself. By focusing on something positive before bed, you set your emotional tone for the next morning. The next thing I do is, the first thing I do in the morning is I use my first 5 minutes to do the same thing I did the night before. I focus on something positive. For example, you can start by appreciating the fact that your eyes are open. Simple thing. It doesn't have to be amazing things. Start where you are and build from there. So just be thankful that your eyes are open. You have another day to move positively towards your dreams, or to spend time with your family, or just to breathe. Just be thankful for something. The third practice I do throughout and these are all things I do every day. The third thing I do is I journal. So if you don't have a journal, get one. Once I get up, I journal 1 full page about all the things that I'm thankful for. Things might include my health, my family, my friends, basic things like, well, the things that we take for granted, like having a warm bed, having food in my fridge, being able to walk, being able to talk, having a computer, stuff like this. It just really gets us and other people who practice this really mindful that I really, really do live a blessed life, and I really do have a lot to be thankful for. And the fourth thing I do before leaving home every morning is I use the powerful tool of intention. I set my intention for my day. I intend to have a great day. I intend to experience positive things, positive people. It doesn't have to be something as general as that. You can change your intention to maybe have a day filled with laughter, or if you're going to work on that day, have your boss complimenting you, or if you're spending time with your family, interacting with your family in a pleasant, joyous way, stuff like that. And the fifth thing I do throughout the day is to stay present and to stay positive. And how I do this, or how I recommend you do this, is listen to your breathing sometimes. Don't think so much. Because when we allow ourselves to think and to worry and to, oh, he said this or she said this, or I didn't like how that turned out, it basically, we go back into those lower emotions and we go back into repelling or abundance or repelling or manifestations. Listen attentively. Smile at others. Really genuinely practice it. Practice gratitude. Practice noticing things that you can appreciate, noticing things that you can be grateful for. Stop, smell the roses, just be present. Being present is a great way of allowing yourself to be who you are, being that God force and allowing that God force to flow through you.
Wow, those are great points. Those are great points. You know, a lot of times, you know, I love the journal piece, first of all.
Right.
You know, it's always good to let your feelings out, and
right.
it's so good to have the journal and write them, because you can actually look back in that journal and see how far you've come and see how you're going. You know,
Absolutely.
A lot of times we need that encouragement to say, oh, my goodness, you know, you may be feeling like you're just off the chain, you know, oh, my God, everything's off. But then when you read through those journal pages and you see where you used to be and now you know where you are right now, and then, oh, my goodness, then you get that fire because you realize, oh, my goodness, look at how far I've come. Look how far I have changed. Look how much I have accomplished. And while I'm sitting here thinking that I have done nothing, and look at this, you know, so yes, I recommend a journal as well, because sometimes we need that pick-me-up. Sometimes we need that record to let us know how much we've done, because sometimes we forget the small things, but the small things become big things. And if we do not have that record, sometimes we can just let those things just slip through the cracks. And
Absolutely.
You were saying so, yes, and then you said something else. You were saying about, you know, before I walk out, you do your meditations and you write in your journal. And, you know, sometimes there are people that don't have a ritual at all. They just get up, they put their clothes on, they go. They don't set themselves up for the day. People don't understand how important it is to set themselves up for the day. You know, if you, way you start out the day is usually how you're going to finish the day. So if you start out in a positive mind frame, if you put your armor on against all the negativity that could hit you during the day, then usually it's going to be a lot less effective if you had not put on any armor at all. Doesn't that make sense?
Exactly.
Yes. Yes, please.
Yes, I was going to just add to the journaling and saying that journal is, journaling is super important. I can't stress how important it is because, one, we are writing, and writing is a powerful way to manifest. And writing is powerful because when we write, we focus on what we write, and it's a form of alchemy because we're pulling thoughts onto paper and we're pulling things into our reality. So journaling is definitely one of I don't go anywhere without my journal. I definitely recommend journaling. It's definitely a number one way to manifest. And when we journal, the way I was saying, you journal basically by appreciating, by being thankful. What you're practicing there is you're practicing the emotion of feeling good. So if you're appreciating, you're practicing the emotion of appreciation. So that's where the fine-tuning of the emotion comes in. That's where you practice feeling good. So that when something, as you said, you go out and if something should happen, because you've practiced feeling good, you are more likely to look at what is happening, maybe laugh at it, or maybe bounce back and find something positive to say, you know what? This is happening, but XYZ. This is happening, but, things are always working out for me, so I'm not even worried. So that's where the fine-tuning of the emotion comes in, from the journaling, from practicing appreciation so that you'll have this. So basically fall back on whenever you're faced with things. That's how the part about basically controlling your emotions and being able to be in a storm and not be bothered. When you practice appreciation, when you practice feeling good, when you're faced with issues, when you're faced with circumstances, when you're faced with storms, it's going to be small to you because you know who you are. You know that things are working out for you. You know that you are a powerful creator. You know all of the things that you practice in your journal, all of the things you practice during meditation, during appreciation, those are the things that you're going to fall back on when you see little things flare up. So basically, yes, I agree with you, Akina.
I love that. And, that's really why Akina and I wrote our book, our 90-day affirmation and gratitude journal. It's like I just believe in that so much that when you focus on what you're grateful for and when you're intentional about, what words you're putting after I am, you truly, have just the ability to track so many things. And I know Akina and I actually wrote about it. So if you don't have a journal on that, you can get our journal, changingmindsonline.com, the 90-day affirmation and gratitude journal, where we actually take you through both of those processes. And I use mine every day, even though we wrote it, I still actually go back and I use it. And I do myself write down every day and every morning. I have the same practice, Sonia, about 10 things I'm grateful for, every morning and every night. And it's an amazing way to start and end your day. But, on this note, we can talk about this for forever, but it's almost 9:30, so we do have to shut our call down. Is there any takeaway, if you can give our audience this one little takeaway, what it would be for tonight?
I want you guys to know that your emotions are there for a reason, and your emotions are always telling you something. It's telling you where you are in terms of if you're focusing on manifestations, it's telling you if you're moving towards your manifestations or you're moving away from it. So if you're feeling good, you're moving towards your manifestations, or better yet, your manifestations are moving towards you and you're allowing it. And if you're feeling bad, if you're feeling worried, you're basically repelling your manifestations. And I like to close by saying you don't get what you want, because when you want something, you are basically in a frame of mind where you don't think you have it. You get what you feel. So start practicing appreciation, optimism, and all of those positive, higher emotions so you can basically master manifestations using your emotions.
Wow, that's so powerful. It's at that point where we do have to end for tonight, but I just want to thank you so much, Sonia, for being on our call. It was truly a pleasure to have this conversation, and I know people were blessed by it. So thank you so much for being with us and sharing with us so generously.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Akina, is there anything you want to add before we close our call down tonight?
Yes. Danya, once again, thank you so much. I was definitely enlightened myself. I learned a lot, and I appreciate you being on here as well.
Thank
And
you.
if Danya said, you're welcome. And if Danya said something that resonated with you tonight, please find this podcast on Change Your Minds Online. You can also find us iTunes, Stitcher, Tuned In, and, of course, YouTube.
Well, and Akina, we always end our podcast in the same way, and just thanking everyone who called in every week. I let you know we are just so grateful and humbled for the really thousands of people now, and who've been supportive of us and who listen to each and every podcast. We love you. We are so grateful for you, and we just thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey. On that note, God bless. Make it a powerful week, and we are excited to be with you on our Sunday night inspirational call. Same time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great week, everyone. Good night, Akina. Good night, Danya.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.